Hello friends, Swami Hriman here, and I'd like to talk to you about a subject that came up at a recent interfaith gathering that I attended. The question was, who is a saint? Now you might say that has no relevance to you because, of course, I'm not a saint, but it was an interesting discussion and I thought I might share it. Historically, in the past, saints were those who were recognized as having done miracles, who have lived heroically spiritual lives, and after their death were canonized, recognized as having been saints. That's the traditional view. And at our interfaith gathering, there were those who took that view, and it makes sense. But then there were those who said, well, gee, we're all saints. We are all children of God. We all have that potential. And then there are some aspects of Christianity, Christian sects, who don't look to the historical saints at all, who say, well, we should go to Jesus. Well, that makes a certain amount of sense, too. So which is it? Are we saints or are we not? And are there saints at all? Well, historically, East and West, there are certainly those great souls who are recognized as saints. For the miracles, yes, they performed, but the greatest miracle is the miracle of love, the miracle of self-offering. And so I don't see how we can deny that there are saints, have been saints, just as there are masters in the field of science and art and so forth. There are great people in sports, so why not recognize the greatness in spiritual consciousness? And there are, historically, again, provable signs, indications, objective circumstances that suggest that spirituality. So why the argument? Well, we live in a time when we are seeking, and we feel we have the right to seek, our own highest potential. Freedom is the watchword of the 20th and 21st centuries. Freedom from limitations of all kinds. And so it's also natural to say, well, I'm as good as anybody else. Of course, that's not always true, but so I understand nonetheless, though, because as Yogananda put it, Paramahansa Yogananda, it's a sin to call yourself a sinner. And he also said, however, that a saint is a sinner who never gave up. In his description of self-realization, he said, you are that already. You are a saint. You just have to improve your knowing, your behavior. And so it really is a both and. This coming Sunday, which happens to be May 19th, 2024, we celebrate the birth of our founder of Ananda Worldwide, Swami Kriyananda. And his aspiration in life was to be a good disciple of his guru, our guru, Paramahansa Yogananda. He tells the story when his youth, before he met Yogananda, when he tried unsuccessfully, repeatedly, to give up smoking. Like he said, quoting Mark Twain, it's the easiest thing in the world. I've done it 100 times. But yet, in his case, even though his friends laughed at him, his repeated efforts to give up smoking, he always knew he would. He had an intuitive conviction that he would. And one day, he said he would give it up, and he did. Never went back to it. And so, in our day and age, we are more inclined to make an affirmation of our potential. And if that affirmation is our potential to be a saint, I think that's exactly what we should do. In different groups at Ananda and in the life of Yogananda's guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar, there have been groups of people who called themselves in by one name or another saints, meaning they were aspiring to that. So the modern way of not focusing on our failures, our sinfulness, but focusing on our potential for goodness, our potential to be saints, I think that's the way we should go. Well, Yogananda said that's the way we should go, so I do agree with that. But I see a great deal of resonance in all walks of life and different forms of spirituality, particularly the New Thought forms, that affirm that positive view, that positive self-definition, if you will. It may be that God consciousness is beyond and transcendent of good and evil and virtue and sin and so forth, but we can't think that way until we achieve that state. Our destiny, the purpose of creation, is that we find our way back to the Creator through the great drama of life and many lives. So therefore, let's affirm that potential. Say to ourselves, I am a saint in the making. Nothing can stop my progress. Move all ye mountains of delusion. Stand not in my way. All right.